Great. Welcome to REI Investor Talk. I'm Neale Petersen, founder and content-in-chief of Real Estate Investor. And we've seen South Africa's property landscape is evolving. And at the heart of this transformation is a growing demand for apartment living. And from first-time buyers to seasoned investors, more and more South Africans are seeing the value in high-density, lifestyle-rich developments. And today we're joined by Pamela Naidu. She's a sales and marketing director of Devmco Realty, the powerhouse behind some of KwaZulu-Natal's most sought-after urban precincts. That includes the vibrant Sibaya Coastal Precinct. And Pamela will unpack today why apartments are fast becoming the smartest property move in South Africa, what's driving this trend, and what buyers and investors should be paying attention to in 2025 and beyond. Well, welcome to you, Pamela. Great having you on the show.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. So, Pamela, maybe can you explain why apartment living has become such a dominant trend in South Africa's property market, and how that looks in KwaZulu-Natal compared to other major provinces such as Western Cape and Gauteng?
Well, Neil, urbanization and population growth, that's the biggest factor. If the population's growing, the demand for housing is going to increase. So there's been a massive pressure on housing demand. Apartments offer, they maximize on space and accommodate growth. So it's just financial considerations. The rising cost of owning and maintaining a home, especially in desirable areas, can be a barrier for many. So apartments offer a more affordable entry point into the property market and provide low maintenance living. Just to sum it up, downsizing and retirement, lifestyle preferences, and as I mentioned earlier, demand for well-located, lifestyle-rich apartments surged in recent years, with buyers and investors seeking both affordable and high-end options.
Okay, so you mentioned the market's matured in your piece that was written recently, and with buyers and investors, they're certainly becoming more discerning, we've seen, and that's on a national level. Can you elaborate on that idea, and what do you think has led to this shift in mindset?
Well, everything is so available online now. The digital space has taken over. AI has taken over every form of marketing, and real estate follows the same trend. So with the availability of options and the growing, and people are now understanding the market trends, availability of properties, access to information, information on neighborhoods, information on property values. They have comparisons, they have options. That just makes them more discerning because they come into our offices with a list of questions, and they already know so much. So definitely our savvy investors do their homework, and the availability of information is the biggest factor.
Absolutely. That access of information changes the game. So, Pamela, just from your perspective, what are the top factors that make apartments in Durban appealing, and places, particularly in the Sibaya precinct, are so appealing to both investors and also first-time buyers?
So, Neil, post-COVID, a lot has changed in the way developers have structured their developments. And we obviously took the cue, and we had to quickly realign and reposition how we took developments to the market. So I'm Devmco Realty, but Devmco is the developer. I do the sales and marketing solution. So lifestyle precincts became a must. We had lockdown for 2 months, and we did, on the opening, after the 2 months of opening post-COVID, we did 80 million rand in a few days of business, because people suddenly realized, I need more open spaces, I need mixed-use developments, I want accessibility to road networks, to healthcare, shopping. And if you can have all of that in a precinct, then Bob's your uncle. And so we listen to what the market wants, and we then develop according to what the market is asking.
Yeah, so that's buyer precinct in area in Durban is definitely a key area for Devmco Realty. Can you also elaborate on the planned 20 billion expansion and how it will shape the future of that area?
Very exciting times for us. Devmco Realty has been going for 10 years. And so we've watched it from the first development to now finally becoming the master developers. So Devmco is the master development of the Sabaya precinct. And there's going to be massive recreational parks for families to use. We have an existing 350 hectares of natural forest to explore. There's already bustling residential estates and mixed-use estates that already exist. So we're looking at blue chip businesses and retail assets coming in. There's corporate headquarters and medical facilities, flagship branded stores, residential and hospitality developments. And we're looking at like 70,000 direct and indirect jobs. So massive for what the next 5 years is going to hold for us. And there's going to also be quite a lot of injection into infrastructure. So we're working closely with the city to upgrade the facilities, because when you've got all this injection into the precinct, you've got to work with city to upgrade the existing infrastructure. So very exciting times for us.
No, absolutely. And I see there's also a lot of talk about the Club Med South Africa Beach and Safari Resort, and it's coming to KZN, Tinley Manor. So how is this project influencing local property demand?
Well, when you've got an international brand like Club Med gracing the shores of the North Coast, it is, I think, the breath of fresh air that South Africa has been waiting for, let alone KZN. So, very exciting times. The potential for growth and prosperity, undoubtedly, there's already an increase in demand. The expectation with once Club Med is finally launched, we're expecting an influx of international tourists into the country. And this now also then starts gearing up the locals, who then realizes, they've also got to now jump on the bandwagon, buy property, and, get into the upswing of the real estate demand. So definitely, there is going to be so much of exposure with the beauty of KZN, North Coast. Tilimana is 15 kilometers away from Belito, another I would say 30 kilometers from Sabaya. So we are the captive area, and we are the market that they're going to be looking at. So we're very excited, and I think we needed this as of the recent years when everything was doom and gloom. It's really exciting to have this new inclusion of international coming in.
No, absolutely. I think exciting news indeed, and specifically for KZN. You've also emphasized the importance of location in apartment living. How does Devmco Realty ensure its developments are in prime locations that attract both homeowners and investors?
So from the selection of the first property, the developers who are Devmco have always gone for coastal. And, there's so little coastal left. And when we talk about the M4, that's a coastal road, the major coastal road in KZN. They always want it on the east side, and we've secured the rest of Sabaya. So developers are savvy. They listen to what the market wants. We know that coastal properties are always, there's capital appreciation. So it's a no-brainer it is more expensive real estate to buy. And then obviously with your top structure, your pricing is going to be higher. But we generally deal with the elite market and the high-end market. So going for coastal property has been a winner, and we're sticking with that.
Awesome. So you've spoken about...
Because
Carry on.
also, there's massive financial backing with the developers. So that financial backing, and they keep the ears very close to the ground in terms of properties available for sale. And having that financial backing, keeping up with market, with availability of land and all of that, has made it so much easier for them to secure those spots. So if you have the financial backing, then you're number one seat. So we've had that.
Awesome. That's critically important. So you've also spoken about increasing demand for lifestyle-focused amenities like gyms, co-working spaces, integrated green areas. How critical are these features in today's competitive market?
It's a prerequisite now. Post-COVID, and I'll refer to COVID because COVID has changed the landscape of property a lot. It is a prerequisite. It is, they want the option of working from home because with COVID, people have the option of working from home. And for a lot of companies, that has continued. So they want a work, live, play environment, less travel, less time on the road, more family time. So with our market in Sabaya especially, it is a prerequisite. It is not, it's an essential. It's not even something, can I have that? It's a must have.
Yeah, great. So what role do energy efficiency, modern architecture play in your developments? I mean, are these elements, do they align with the
You
evolving
know,
preferences?
like I've said earlier, people are so abreast with trends, market trends. They follow architecture. They look at, they want the modern look and feel. They want, with the current service delivery in KZN, energy efficiency is also an essential. So we have energy efficient ready homes, and a client has an option to plug into it. And so, like solar geysers, so more solar panels, inverter ready. We're very into promoting going green. So we've made that an option, and some of it is already included in our packages. And clients are definitely looking for that. And that is purely because of the service delivery in the country presently.
Yeah. Talking about growing trends and that kind of stuff, we're seeing there is a trend for mixed use precinct. So, what do you think buyers are? Why are they gravitating towards these spaces? I mean, and how do they fit into the future of urban living?
It is again your work, live, play ethos.
Mm-hmm.
People, especially KZN, and I say this always because we have Joburg investors as well, and they travel miles to get from A to Z. But we traveling for 10 minutes is too long in KZN. So people don't want to travel long distances. They want their shopping at the doorstep. We are now developing estates with shopping centers right on your doorstep. They want to have access to medical right on your doorstep. They want to have access, easy access to road networks and so forth. So we're designing our developments around those elements. So massive market research goes into what the buyer wants, what the market is asking for. And we often say the reason we get our products right is because we listen to what the market wants, as opposed to a developer having a dream development in his mind that is not going to work because the market's not demanding it.
It's critically important again. So, Devmco Realty's apartments, you said it caters mainly for the high end, but certainly also first time buyers. And so, how do you balance the need for affordability with the desire for both luxury and exclusivity in your developments?
So our strength lies in strong procurement power. So, with using the economies of scale, we're able to offer a luxury premium product at an affordable price point. Because when we do developments, we go large. And when you are buying on a large scale, your economies of scale, then you're able to price them right and not affect the look and feel or the premium quality that we offer.
Okay, so let's get to more of the harder working property management. What advice would you give to prospective apartment buyers when it comes to evaluating things like body corporates, levy structures, very important in new developments?
I think that is very essential because if you're walking into a development or an apartment building and you don't know what the financial status is of that body corporate, then you more than likely going to be asking for trouble. So asking prior for financial statements, your estate agent should be able to get access for you for that because that's a critical thing. Ask to review the financial statements, have a look at the levy structures, and then also everything is so easily available online now. Compare levy structures with other developments to see if it's in line plus minus with what you've been asked to pay. So the levy structure as well. And if you go into a larger development, your levy structure is more affordable. So the more apartments you have, or the more homes you have in a precinct, then it brings down the cost per household in terms of levies. So look at all of that. If you go into a small development, then automatically your costs are virtually still the same, and then your levies are going to be higher. And you've got to look, we're talking about body corporate security is a massive thing in the country. So levy structures, I mean, the biggest part of your levy should be security, because if it's fairly new developments, your maintenance is quite low. It's normally the common areas that need more maintenance. So have a look at all of those factors. The newer developments offer the more modern architecture, and you've got it's going to take 5 to 10 years before massive maintenance is required. So that helps keep your levies down as well.
Right, a good point there. And let's talk a little bit about investors, because a good number of investors who are listening in today. So for potential investors, apartments are seen as a stable, scalable investment. What makes apartments such a strong asset in uncertain markets?
It's more affordable than buying a home. It's reduced maintenance. The amenities that come with living in many apartment complexes and sectional titles are hard to beat. I mean, depending on the example you choose, like swimming pools, clubhouses, playground, fitness centers, clubhouses, all of that. I mean, if you had to live in a freestanding home and you are not in a precinct, then you would have to pay for all of that and maintain it. So it becomes very affordable. Also, lock up and go. If you're a business traveler and you're always on the move, you want to lock up and go and know that you don't have to take care of anything and the security is there. So the security aspect comes again. And also the maintenance. I mean, the body corporate takes care of everything external. So internal is basically what you'll take care of. And then your body corporate insurance on sectional title, that's taken care of on the external. You only need to pay insurance then for your personal contents. So that's also a massive saving. And that's all then all structured under your levies.
Okay, great. So finally, Pamela, let's, where's the future of apartment living heading in South Africa? And obviously you're talking from a KZN perspective. And also what's next for Devmco Realty in this evolving market?
Okay, there's always a space for apartment living because, like I said in earlier question, the population size is increasing forever, and the availability of land is not always going to be. There's not going to be an endless supply of land. So with that, you've got to go high rise, you've got to go apartment living to meet the demands. From an affordability point, apartments are more affordable in most cases than freestanding homes. And so I always say there's a whole sales cycle with how it works. Like you were speaking earlier, the first time investor will buy in an apartment because that's what he can afford. Then when he's in his mid-30s, he then decides to get married, have kids, needs the home, needs the big yard, needs the pool, needs the dog, and then they go with that. And then kids go to varsity, kids leave, then empty nest. Then the parents then start looking at, okay, should we go back into an apartment? I don't want the headache of cleaning a pool or doing my garden, or this home's too big and the maintenance costs are rising. So it has a full cycle. There's always going to be a space, and they are the most affordable option.
Great, well, great way to end. So I think, as we've heard, apartment living in South Africa is no longer just a trend. It's a smart long-term investment strategy that combines lifestyle, location, and flexibility. Thank you to you, Pamela Naidu, and the team at Devmco Realty for sharing such valuable insights on the future of property and why mixed-use developments and well-positioned apartments are redefining modern living. If you want to learn more or explore current opportunities with the Sabaya precinct, you just visit devmcorealty.co.za. Is there another contact detail where people could reach out to find out more about?
Sure. We've got a number, 087 550 1300. And yeah, there's always somebody. We're a 7-day-a-week operation, so there's always somebody here to help you. And thanks, Neale, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That has been a pleasure. And until next time, keep investing wisely.